stem and various types of stem modifications we have seen. Modifications means the changes apart from their normal function. They are performing extra additional functions like underground stem storage of food material, subaerial stem modifications which give support vegetative propagation for climbing, and aerial stem modifications where we have studied complete stem has been modified for protection or for storing food material or for the sake of photosynthesis and to escape transpiration in the form of phylloclade. Now we are going to study the third most important part of the leaf, that stem plant body, that is leaf. So root, stem, leaf. As we have studied what are the characteristic features of the roots and what are the characteristic features of the stem and how they are modified to perform extra functions, in the same way we have to study various characteristic features of the leaf and later various modifications of the leaf. Leaf generally green, flat, expanded part of plant it arises from nodes of stem or branches. So in the plant body, leaves may arise directly on the stem at a particular region called node, or leaves may arise on the branches, and the branches also they will arise only at nodes. So green, flat, expanded part of plant body which arises from nodes of stem or branches. Generally, leaf possess a bud in its axil. So this bud is called axillary bud. Axillary bud develops into branch. Axillary bud develops into branch, and from where this leaf is originated means when stem is growing, this is stem, the apical meristems, the meristematic cells means always the cells which are in a dividing state, in a continuous state of division, always young. So these are called apical meristems of the stem. Apical meristems. So these apical meristems, they will produce leaf primordia. So leaf, starting of leaf is called leaf primordia, leaf primordium. Now this is growing, this stem is growing. So leaf is here, and as gradually stem is growing, this leaf will become maximum in its size. So how this leaf is formed? When this plant stem is small and young, apical meristems are responsible for the formation of leaf primordia. After the formation of leaf, generally it consists of a bud in its axil. This is called axillary bud. This axillary bud develops into a branch, or it may develop into a flower, or it may develop into inflorescence variously. Now, to understand this leaf in detail, leaves are the main parts of plant where two essential functions are performed. Two essential functions. They are, first one, photosynthesis, transpiration. So leaves are important. Photosynthesis means the process which is existing on the surface of the earth. Only plants are capable of doing this, with which they will prepare food material, which is the ultimate source of food for every other living organism. And transpiration, the process of evaporation, loss of water in the form of water vapor. So if transpiration is not existing, water will not go to all parts of the plant body up to the last leaf. So if water is not going to reach the last part of the plant body, automatically along with the water, nutrients cannot be supplied to all corners of the plant body. So even though transpiration is avoidable, but it cannot be unavoidable. So photosynthesis and transpiration, these are the two main functions which are carried out by leaves. So what are leaves? Green, flat, expanded part of the plant body. It arises from nodes of the stem or branches. Generally, leaf possesses a bud in the axil. This bud is called axillary bud. Axillary bud develops into branch. Leaves are main parts where two essential functions are performed. This is the concept of first paragraph they have given in page number 69 in the leaf. Now, what are present in a leaf? Parts of a leaf. There are three basic structures in a leaf. First one is called leaf base. Second one, petiole. Lamina or leaf blade. Leaf base, leaf lamina, leaf petiole, leaf lamina. These are the three main parts. What are these three main parts? Let us see. This is the stem, and on the stem there is an area called node. In this node, with the help of a base, it is attached to the stem or branches. This is called base of the leaf or leaf base. And to this base with the help of a stalk generally. This is called petiole. And at the end of the petiole, there is a structure flattened. This structure is called leaf lamina or leaf blade. Already you might have studied all these things from your childhood, from 6th class onwards, 6th standard to 10th standard. Leaf base, some more intrinsic factors, internal structures we are going to see. Internal means deep structures. What is this? This is a node, a region on the stem or branches where leaves arises. Here, base of the leaf base is the place of attachment of leaf to the stem. Leaf base, place of attachment of leaf to the stem or branch. Leaf base. Here, to understand about this leaf base in detail, leaf base again classified into two types. Pulvinous leaf base. Pulvinous leaf base sheathing leaf base. What is this pulvinous leaf base and what is this sheathing leaf base? Let us see here. Notice petiole and lamina. After completion of base, we will go to petiole and lamina. Pulvinous leaf base. In leguminaceae plants or fabaceae plants, generally the base is swollen. This area I wish to show you here. This is base. This base is swollen. It means when we pluck a leaf, listen carefully, when we are going to pluck a leaf, this is the leaf, we are going to pluck this leaf. When we pluck the leaf, this area forms a structure. This structure is called swollen. Swollen means easy to remove the leaves, and swollen, a broader base, it means plants morning time generally leaves will open and evening generally leaves will show movements which are called sleeping movements, like touch me not plant. Some plants are there existing on the surface of the earth. They show sleeping movements, leaves especially. So here, early morning how leaves will open, looks freshly, and evening time how they will fold. This movement is called sleeping movement. It is exhibited only by sheathing pulvinous leaf base. Pulvinous base. And this pulvinous base is a characteristic feature of leguminaceae plants or fabaceae plants, which is responsible for sleep movements. And other characters are, such leaves are easy to, and such leaves are able to shed their leaves during summer season to escape from the transpiration. They don't want to lose their water. Pulvinous. And what is this sheathing leaf base here? Listen carefully, my dear students. Sheathing leaf base means this is the stem and here is a node. To this node leaf like a sheath surrounds, like a sheath, it surrounds here, from here, from here. So it covers like this. If this is the stem, if this is the stem, it is going to cover, see here my dear students, like this, either partially or completely. So such leaves are difficult to pluck. Such leaves are difficult to pluck. So this type of basing sheath is called leaf sheath, or base is in the form of sheathing leaf base. Sheathing, a sheath covers the node either partially or completely. So I am shown in the diagram. Generally banana plants, banana leaves, which are having a structure like this, it is difficult. Again another leaf, again another leaf. So how banana leaves are situated? This base is called leaf sheathing leaf base. The difference now, are you able to collect the difference? Pulvinous leaf base in leguminous plants, sheathing leaf base in monocots like banana plants. Generally, so leaf base means is the first part of the leaf where a leaf is attached to the either stem directly or to the branch, especially at a particular region called node. This is pulvinous leaf base, sheathing leaf base. Monocots like banana. So base, first part, base, place of attachment of. Here some additional structures are present. They may be present or they may not be present in some leaves. In some leaves they are present, in some leaves they may not found. So here, if this is the stem, this is the node, this is the leaf, on either side of the axil, here and here, a pair of, this is the petiole, leaf, imagine, this is stem, here one and here one, on either side of the axil or base, on either side of the axil or base, a pair of small leaf-like structures, small leaf-like structures are present. These are called stipules. My dear students, again see this, on either side of the leaf base, exactly at leaf base, the leaf base is nothing but node. So on either side of the node, that side and this side, a pair of small leaf-like structures are present in some plants. They are called stipules. So what are these stipules? Small leaf-like. Why? When the leaf is in young condition, when the leaf is in small young bud condition, these stipules are going to protect the leaf bud. So stipules are present or found in some plants, in some leaves. So if stipules are present in the plant, such a leaf is called stipulate leaf. Direct question. One of the following is correct for stipulate leaf. In which plant stipulate leaves are found? If a leaf is having stipules, Such leaf is called stipulate leaf. And example is Fabaceae family members. Fabaceae family members, in those family almost all the plants they possess stipules, so they are called stipulate leaf. But in some plants stipules are absent. In some plants belongs to Solanaceae, Liliaceae. These are families you are going to study in future. So Fabaceae is a family where stipules are present on either side of the base. This is Solanaceae and Liliaceae. Stipules are absent. In some plants belong to stipules are absent, are not present. Their such leaves are called ex-stipulate. So leaves are classified into two types based upon presence and absence of stipules. What are stipules? Small leaf-like structures, appendages, lateral appendages which are present on either side of the base or on either side of the petiole or on either side of the axil. They are meant to protect the leaf when the leaf is in bud condition. Sometimes these stipules, when leaf grows, they will be there. Such leaves are called stipulate leaves. Sometimes when leaf is growing, remember this, when leaf is growing, these stipules fall off. Such stipules are called deciduous stipules. Stipulate, ex-stipulate means leaves. Generally, some stipules will be there forever. Such stipules are called persistent. Persistent stipules means always present even after leaf grows well. Deciduous stipules means they will be there for some time. When leaf grows, they fall off. So deciduous fall off after some time. So we are going to study leaf, characteristic features of the leaf. Only we have seen two structures, only one structure, that is leaf base, first structure. Additional structure on either side of the leaf base, stipules. Now we are going to study about petiole. What is petiole? One of the following is correct with petiole. What is the location of petiole? Petiole is the stalk of the leaf which connects the base with the lamina. Petiole, listen carefully here. Petiole is the stalk of the leaf which connects the base with lamina. So the connecting link between base and lamina is called stalk of the leaf, which connects the base with lamina. Petiole. Petiole is the stalk of the leaf which connects the base and lamina. The connecting link between lamina and base. For what purpose, sir? To supply the food materials, water, minerals, everything. Petiole, any leaf which is having petiole is called petiolate leaf. Leaf that consists of petiole are called petiolate leaf. Means a leaf is having petiole. Petiolate leaf means leaf is having petiole. If petiole absent, sessile leaf. Sessile leaf. What is the definition of sessile leaf and petiolate leaf? Petiolate leaf means a leaf having petiole. Sessile leaf means a leaf does not having petiole, directly lamina is attached to the base. Directly lamina is attached to the base. Petiole absent. Now, this petiole, it is allowing the long thin petiole, allowing the leaf lamina. It will hold the leaf lamina properly in such a way to expose to the sunlight. So generally when you see plants or trees, no leaf is overlapped. This is because petioles are growing in such a way. Petioles function itself is it will hold the leaf lamina in such a way to get to the sunlight. So many leaves are there, for example, on a stem. Each and every leaf is not overlapped. Each and every leaf is having some distance and they are properly exposed to the sunlight. And it is holding the leaf lamina in such a way to flutter the lamina or leaf blade into the wind. So whenever wind is coming, lamina or leaf blade is fluttering. Again, leaf petiole. These 2 points remember. Petiolate leaf, sessile leaf. Petioles functions. Petiole hold the lamina for proper exposure to sunlight. Petiole it allow lamina. How it is allowing lamina? It is elongated structure in the air. So because of its elongated, whenever wind is coming, lamina is fluttering. Why lamina is fluttering? Again question. It allows lamina to flutter in air for fresh air and to cool surface of lamina. What is this? It allows lamina to flutter in air for fresh air. What does it mean? To fresh air and to cool surface of the lamina. Now here, most important concept, my dear students. Only thing is, by listening, you have to understand it. If time permits, we will repeat it again and again. Concept is here. I am showing this like this. This is lamina or leaf blade. Listen carefully. Whenever leaf is present, see here, by continuous process of transpiration, surrounding area of the leaf, approximately this area it has some surface humidity which is called absolute humidity. Again, for example, listen carefully, see here, my body, living organism's body. So my body is a living body, I am having my skin. If we see, skin will give some smell, definitely. As long as, even if we are alive or dead, it is living organism's body, something is going out, something is coming in. So gaseous exchange is going on. Here, continuously water is present in the plant body, and water is always moving, Oh, so the surface area of the leaf is having some humidity which is called absolute humidity. It means cool. Again, listen carefully. I am going to ask you a question in the coming classes. Inside the plant, always leaf, water is there, so inside also cool. Outside also, by the movement of water, it is cool. So, inner and outside, inside and outside, there is no difference in the concentration. So, inside also cool, outside also cool. There is no difference in the concentration. That's why loss of water will not happen whenever there is a difference in the concentration. For example, my body, I have taken water when I am coming to class, and I am sitting under the fan. Here, inside also cool, outside also cool, I am not getting any sweats. But when I have taken water and when I come here, if I am not having air, automatically outside is dry, inside is cool. So there is a difference in the concentration of water. Water wants to move from inside to outside, so I will get sweating. Simple concept. Here also, whenever plant is existing a leaf, it is having inside always water. Listen carefully, concept. And always by transpiration, some amount of water and some amount of air is present here, which is called absolute, not disturbed. Now, when petiole is allowed, see here, during wind, when wind comes, like if wind comes, whenever wind comes, velocity of the wind, this area will be disturbed. So what happens? It becomes dry. When wind comes, it is removed. Absolute humidity will be disturbed throughout the surface of the lamina. There is a difference in the concentration. So at this time, it is going to lose water in the form of vapor, which is called transpiration. Whenever water is moving in the form of water vapor, total body of every leaf will show the same process now. What happens? Plant is standing under the sunlight day and night, even in the rains, floods, heavy summer, hot sunlight, low sunlight, chilled condition. It is not moving like animal, like human beings are animals. We cannot stand under the sunlight for days and nights, for months, years. So because of standing under the sun, plant will become burn. Hot will be, more heat will generate in the plant body. Because of this, whenever it is fluttering, because of petiole, whenever it is fluttering, water will move. How water will move? It disturbs, water will go outside. So water will be reaching to each and every part of the plant body. Like that, the surface of the plant will be cool. One sentence, my dear students, they have given in page number 70, where they have given in page number 70, first paragraph, beside this diagram. Petiole hold the leaf lamina properly to the exposure of the sunlight, first concept, and petiole allow the leaf lamina to flutter freely in the air to get it cooled. Here cool means like this. And this is called conceptual. Conceptual, based upon the concept, they can ask various types of questions, 10s, 20s of questions. And again, we will repeat this in the class of transpiration and translocation of plants in the coming future. So, petiole, and petiole is made up of some tissues which is called collenchyma. You might have studied in the schools. Collenchyma. This collenchyma is having tensile strength.
Tensile strength means here, if we take this leaf and bend, it will bend. This is called tensile strength. When we release, again leaf. So leaf can be bent in any directions because of petiole. In petiole, the tissue present is collenchyma, which will provide a mechanical support to the plant body wherever it is found. Now, a last part, that is leaf lamina. Leaf lamina. Or leaf blade. When we are going to study, this is the expanded, thin, flat, green, having large surface area. Generally in dicot plants, in different plants, the surface area varies. Some leaves will be small surface area, different shapes of the leaves, different, this is called margin. Leaf margin, lamina margin. This is called apex or tip, leaf tip. So the expanded green flat structure responsible for photosynthesis is called lamina. And lamina is having variations means changes in shape, margin, tip, surface means surface area. Shape, margin, tip, surface area we will see, and extent of constriction. Last point. Constriction in lamina. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These compulsorily make a note, underline in the textbook. Last sentences of textbook for leaf. So leaf lamina or leaf blade is a expanded structure. It varies in shape, different shapes. Margins also different. What is this margins are? See here, if the margin is like this, it is called entire margin. If the margin is like this, serrate margin. If margins are various shapes, so here margin means shape of the structure of the margin. Tip may be like this, acute. Tip may be various, oblong, obtuse. So tips, margins are variable. Margin, tip. Surface area may be like this, or surface area may be dried leaves where surface area is less. We will see this. We will see this. Now, what is there in a lamina, sir? In a lamina or leaf blade, it consists of a central, generally a central midvein or midrib, many lateral veins and veinlets. See here, a central midvein or midrib. This is central midvein. Many lateral veins and veinlets again. The total part is called venation. Study of arrangement of veins in the lamina is called venation. Various types of venations are there, taking into consideration two basic types generally. So here veins, midvein, lateral veins, veinlets all together constitutes venation. So veins providing rigidity to the veins provide rigidity, or the shape of the leaf is like this. Why? Because of veins. Shape of the leaf is like this. Why? Because of veins. Shape of the leaf is like this. Why? Because of, so rigidity and structure has given to the lamina. We will see extent of constriction in lamina. Simply, we will see it again in the next class, but let us see. This is lamina. There is no constriction. Constriction means cut, a bend. Here, another leaf. This is called constriction. This is another leaf. This is called constriction. So constriction, no. The extent means up to where constriction folding. There is no folding. Extent up to here, up to midrib, not even midrib, here also not midrib. Or compound leaves are there. We are going to study in the kinds of leaves. So this point are the last points of leaf, where you have to identify one of the following is not, they can ask. One of the following is correct, they can ask. We'll study this again at the time of study of kinds of leaves. So main part of the leaf, that is lamina, responsible for photosynthesis, exchange of gases. It consists of small pores called stomata. When they open, then only water will be lost in the form of water vapor. Then only carbon dioxide will enter. Then only oxygen will be going out. Otherwise, there will be no oxygen on the surface of the earth. So the main structures, leaves, lamina. We are going to study various types of venation in the next